Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Jabari and Jabari Show. And we have a guest, a really dope guest. Yeah, with more of a treat than I guess.
You're
Yeah.
putting pressure on my boy, damn.
What was that pressure?
Because I was like,
I'll be honest, I wasn't
am
expecting
treat?
you to message me back. I was like, let me just throw a line out there and just see.
Yeah, why
And
not?
then you messaged me like any night, and I was like,
Yo,
oh, he
I be up
responded.
in the night, bro. I be trying to sleep, but I can't. I can never sleep.
I was like, oh, he responded. I don't know, for some reason,
I tried
anytime
to.
I see a following of like 10,000 up, I don't expect a message. Because in my head, so many people are messaging them that my messages would get lost.
I mean, yeah, I don't always get to each message. I happen to see yours at the time, and then a lot of the time I feel real guilty because I want to be able to like reach out to everyone, but it's just impractical because, I mean, my follower is not all that great. It's been, I feel grateful for it, but it is enough. The engagement that I get is enough such that I get real overwhelmed, like, and
Yeah.
I think I get overwhelmed easily, so it is overwhelming. But I think it's the way that you message. When I read your message, there wasn't any great amount of pretense or pressure. Yeah, sometimes people will like message you and off the bat be asking you to do kind of wild things that like you're not comfortable with at all.
And you don't know me like that.
Yeah, and I'm
Nah.
gonna say the same thing.
But like but a podcast is you should be able to represent yourself. Like I think we should all be able to stand by our words.
Yeah.
So it didn't seem like an intimidating and or like something I'd be against because a conversation is just dialogue is super important.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you could just be talking rubbish.
You
for
haven't
rubbish
even
sake.
introed you. I just realized we have
Yeah,
Will.
we got
we
got
like having a
Kyle
focus
one
like,
time.
who is this guy talking? Yeah, so we have Will. Why did you come up with the wolf? Like, what was
The wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just had an interview with Luke where I explained this, but I know I'll be having to keep explaining this.
Yeah.
So my artist name is Willie Wolf. Will was because my real name is Jeff, and like I was named after my grandfather. He was an amazing man. I think in many ways I just felt like I never could measure up to him. He was like he was a famous cricketer. I think he was like the first West Indian captain to make a century in England, kind of thing. Yeah, no, and more importantly than his ability like on a cricket, because he was a national footballer, he was a West Indian cricketer, but he was a really good person and he was like really well respected. And oh yeah, I haven't even turned off mine. Phone's on silent. Let me put it on. Yeah, so he was just like an amazing guy, and it was just very intimidating to be his grandson. And I think that, and then the fact that Jeff is also like a real fratty kind of sounding name outside of my grandfather.
Yeah.
Like,
21.
After the meme, you can't live with that name.
God.
You can't live with it.
I was gonna ask that question.
Yeah. If I've ever, bro, are you serious,
Generally?
bro? Yes.
My
All
name
the time.
Jeff.
My name is Jeff. Yeah, bro, that shit drives me. Ooh, yo, that I wouldn't lie. The thing is, what gets me. Nah, I try to have perspective. You know, it's like not everyone is gonna consider that because how many people actually know someone whose name is Jeff. It might not be all that common, so I don't want to be harsh. But for me, it's like, man, say something original. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, if you, like, I don't know, if someone's name is Jennifer and someone says to you, like, maybe a girl is Latina and her name is Jennifer, are you just gonna go like, ooh, Jennifer Lopez? Like, shut up. That shit is whack. Can I cuss?
No one has up to this day.
I will be the person too. Let me hold back for now, but that's whack. So Will was just something I really like the name Will. There was a character in a movie I just thought was a real noble character named Will, so I took that. And then I always kind of felt like a wolf. Like I felt like if there was an animal, I'd identify with a wolf because wolf have good and bad traits, and I felt like most of the good and bad that I have, I felt like were reflected in wolves. So, and plus, I'm not calling myself Will the whale or Will like the bunny or, wolves feel cool. So it's a little bit, I want to feel cool, I guess.
Yeah. Because my mom was like, "Who y'all going to meet?" He was like, "Well, the wolf. I don't know what else to tell you. That's all I know."
She'd
him
be
as
like,
a
"Is he
mom."
gonna kill you?" Like,
And
is
she
this...
was asking like just because of like how do we know you, and I was like I just kind of messaged him on Instagram and he was like, she was like she opened her eyes and she was like
She spun around and she was sitting down in front and he was sitting in the back. She was like, "Huh?"
She was like, "My son is about to get human trafficked."
yeah, I don't even know this area. It's just like
Yeah.
he's gonna pick you up and
Well, I went to
Oh, okay.
She knows the era, but just like she doesn't know you.
No, that's on the
Yeah.
Yo, that's totally understandable. Y'all gotta stay safe, bro. World is crazy these days.
Yeah, but I was like, I'll just message people that I feel like,
They might be cool.
it might be cool, and that's it. So that way, if that conversation we're talking, I can be like, well, they're kind of known, I guess. I hope that they're not killers.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it would be weird for me to do all the work I did and then just to mess it all up on killing you too, you know. Yeah, it would be strange if I decided that this was the thing I was gonna like risk my entire career for, is to
Yeah.
kill the two of you. So yeah, I think we got out of the way. I think y'all are safe today.
So when did the music start? Because I think that's more recent. I've been following you for a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I just saw you traveling. I don't think I knew what it was for.
Mm-hmm.
I think I really started to follow you when you like fully came here. I feel like you were international for a bit.
I mean, yeah, I was. I'd had a band back in the day, kind of thing. That like the person that I made the music with, I love and is super talented. But I don't like to talk about the band too much or like mention it, just because I'm kind of over the music I was doing back then. But yeah, I was kind of doing things. Maybe about 5-6 years ago, and then I stopped and I got off social media, and I was a lot happier off of social media. I kind of got back on it in the last like year or so, just to create the opportunities for myself, because I kind of felt like I'd become stagnant when I came back to Trinidad. I really like creating things. Like I really like storytelling. I grew up with Paul Keynes Douglas is my best friend's father, and he's like an amazing storyteller.
Elite.
Yeah, no,
Elite.
he's, oh my God. I actually had to give the best man speech at my best friend's wedding, and they had me go after Paul Keynes Douglas, and I was like, yo, what kind of setup thing is this? This man got a laugh every 5 words for the entire speech. It was immense. His laugh, his laugh economy is immense. No, but storytelling was like big from me jump in Trinidad. My father's like a real storyteller too.
Okay.
And I think I fell in love with film, and I just loved film from like a young age, and I love music too. I didn't think I was that good at music, but I just kept doing it my whole life. Yeah. Like 16 years old, I realized I could sing Save Room by John Legend pretty decent. And I think I started flirting with the idea of maybe I could sing, and then by like 21, I got into a little bit of singing.
I could also sing every John Legend song in
Oh,
my
yeah?
head really well.
Yeah, really well.
It was just, I felt like I was like the best,
Yeah.
like, you know? But you can go.
But you always be in church, and you ever did any church choir kind of thing?
No.
We don't sing.
No.
We do this.
Okay,
We
cool.
make them songs.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Nice.
We'll mix for them all
Okay,
day, every day,
cool.
and nights and nights.
Right. To ask you to sing. That's funny. That reminds me of you all familiar with MRI producer?
No.
He works with Russian a lot.
No.
He's actually probably dopest.
I've heard the name before, but I just can't think of a song.
No, he's produced for pretty big artists like Post Malone and Yo. Yeah.
More than likely, if you play a song,
I could pick it up.
Well, maybe.
How's he sing?
He's a Trini, and he
I can't remember names for things, but like, if you
Right.
play a song, I'll be like, okay, I know this song, but I didn't know him.
Well, producers, I feel
Who
like
produced and sang and wrote and
yeah. Producers are getting a little bit more credit now, you know. So
Yeah, of course.
maybe it'll become he does a lot of work with Russian, but I remember him telling me a story that I think it was in school, the school he went to. He was in like a music class, and there was like he was singing in some sort of choir setup, and he was singing while the teacher, like, he was singing when he wasn't supposed to be singing, and the teacher told him to be quiet, stop talking. She thought his singing was talking. That's how bad he is. She just thought he was talking. She didn't realize he was trying to sing. That's how bad his singing was. I remember he told me that story, and I almost died. But yeah, no, I just kept doing it. My family used to tell me to shut up all the time. It used to just be like, God, you're so annoying. But I kept doing it. I loved.
Just double down, quite literally, just double down.
But it wasn't even doubling down, because I never envisioned that I would do music. Me doing music was such a surprise. And then when I started, for a long time I was creating stuff that I didn't know if it was any good. And then 1 or 2 friends would tell me it was good. And I just thought maybe they were gassing me.
Yeah.
And then eventually I just went for it, and people received it well. And then I took a break from social media for a couple of years, and then coming back, people seemed to be responding well, so I just kept going. I I recorded an entire album, and then I decided not to put it out because I'm like, no one is asking for this because no one even knows at this point. No one is
associating you with
no one has
music.
been no one has been what is the word, acquainted with me for such a long time.
Okay.
I'm not part of the conversation, so I was like, let me start putting out singles first. So I put out Bang, and I tried to make sure that the visuals were
on point.
yeah, I want to make them thoughtful. I want it to be engaging. I don't want it to be something that my friends support me in to be friends.
Yeah.
I want them to be like proud of it, kind of thing. So
Yeah, I guess you. I don't know if it's invasive to ask, but the break from social media, what caused that? Because I sort of took a mini break from Instagram. Like, I deleted. I don't even have it on my main phone.
good for you.
I don't even have it on my main phone.
That's mental health,
I
bro.
legitimately just use Instagram just to post when I post.
Mhm.
But what made you push to, you know what, I good for a while?
A number of things. Some things that I think were not good catalysts for making that decision, and then other things that were. One of the things was at the time I was in a relationship that I think I shouldn't have been in, but different people have different expectations, have different walks of life, different sensibilities. And at the time I was with someone who was not very comfortable because I'd had a large following on like Facebook and Tumblr and a couple of things, and she didn't feel very comfortable with it. In some ways for good reasons, and then in some ways for really not good reasons. And I had made the decision between that and just feeling overwhelmed and feeling like it became such a pressure to communicate with people, because there's your close friends and then there's like a wider group of acquaintances and then a bunch of people you don't know, and people have expectations. And my mom is a very giving person, and I think maybe I acquired a little bit of that habit from her.
Yeah.
And I tend to want to help, want to give, and then you kind of stretch yourself too thin. So it was a couple of things that led up to me taking out all my social media. And at first it was strange for like a couple, like maybe a month, but it was nice simultaneously. And then after a couple months I was like, it was such a freeing thing.
Like a breath of fresh air.
Oh my god, yeah, it was a lot better.
I feel like I'm stuck in between wanting to be mysterious and then just wanting to post everything.
Yeah,
That's really it. It's like I want to share things, but just me pulling out my phone to even just do behind the scenes of shoots, because I'm a photographer and it's basically my assistant at this point.
Nice.
I'm just like, I just want to do the shoot. I don't want to stop and be like, oh, behind the scenes this. I just want to like do my thing, go home, post an image, and that's it. I just want to live life like that. And it's just like I have to, because people are gonna see it and they'll be like, and I could get a job from this. And just like social media game is a lot of work.
Yeah, it's such a strange thing. It's such a
because unless you post, they're gonna forget about you.
That is a thing.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but then it's like how much quality, because I could put out a song and a video. I could put it out every week, 2 weeks. I have songs coming out the wazoo. I have video ideas coming out. I can't stop with this shit. But I don't want it to be.
Would you compromise your quality?
No,
Would you compromise your quality to put out a lot, or would you rather maintain your quality, but it might be a little less, And I understand that.
Yeah, I'm a maintain quality person for sure.
What were you doing during the break?
During like the break in terms of from social media in those years. I was in LA for a bit, and then I'd moved across to Toronto, ironically, and I was doing film school, and then I finished up a business degree, because after I did film school I didn't want to not have something more sensible. And for a long time in my life,
so I just like a what in film?
I have I guess it's technically an associate's degree in film. And then in business I just have a business oh god, I should really know my business degree, but it's specifically project management is my business degree, which I just thought would be a little bit more practical. I wanted to be able to have something to fall back on technically, even though honestly I don't see myself doing anything but like visual work, creative work, right?
Yeah, I did I didn't do it, but I started.
Gotta start somewhere.
I started film and video, and then I was like, I'm not really coming back, because I know I wanted to do photography, and then I got into graphic design.
Nice.
Because of COVID, and I was like, I just want to create something from home. What can I do?
Yeah,
so graphic design, I was like, oh, I could do this. And I just learned Photoshop, and I just learned everything by myself there. So
good for you. That's dope.
Literally don't see myself going back.
Right.
And my dad listens to these. So
Nice.
know
So
now.
he's supportive.
So the first time I brought it up was with Judah,
Uh-huh.
and he was telling me that he was listening to that one, and I was like, I don't know if he reached the part, but he just didn't mention it. So I was like, I
And
don't
you
know
were
if
like, this is what I want to do.
he said he had he didn't listen to all as yet,
Right.
and there was a point where I was like, I'm not going back to Costard because that's where I was learning it,
Right.
and I was expecting him to be like, how come you're not going back? And I was like, he just didn't say anything. He didn't say anything, so I was like.
Glad he accepted that.
I feel like he kind of understands. I was like, I didn't like it from the beginning.
Right.
I probably like one semester, and then I was like, I was out of it. So I think he understood that, and then he's like, yeah, you cannot do whatever you want, and if you have to regret anything, that's on you. I did my part.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, how many years of
Don't ask me how much I had left.
No, I'm gonna make a point. How many years of tertiary education did Tyler the Creator get?
Did he have any?
That's the point.
I don't think he had
0.
any.
And you can't tell me that guy isn't a genius. You know,
He has a whole
he
plot
probably,
of land.
he probably is a genius as per, like, you know, he is one in a million or
Yeah,
more
yeah,
kind
for
of
sure.
vibe. But at the same time, who knows what it is that he could have been a very just troublesome person for no particular reason, but he's a troublesome person for all of our benefit now.
Yeah.
And that was just him believing himself and going for it. He didn't have no formal, you know, film experience. He didn't have no, and he does that stuff. I can't wait. I'm predicting that Tyler the Creator gets into actual film, like to real, well, I shouldn't say real film, but film in the sense of, like, you know, obviously Donald Glover is more involved in that kind of stuff. But I think Tyler will eventually start doing films that that might, you know, make a Golden Globes, maybe an Oscars kind of. I just wouldn't be surprised. And he wouldn't have formal education. This is just me cheering that out there. This might never happen. He might have no interest in doing that. But people don't understand how much.
Just in case it does happen, you can just be like,
yeah,
call it.
I said
in
this.
this.
I said that.
I said it.
I
set it up. And it was just come to me for your prediction.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this podcast straight to him in however many years when that happens, and I'm gonna be like, Tyler, look at this, and he's gonna be like, who are you? Leave me alone. Put your mask on, because COVID is here to stay. That's a thing, though, fellas.
Yeah,
they just say this shit is just supposed to mutate more and more, and just stick around.
So many variants.
I told a friend, he was like, man, September 2020. He was like, September, we back on. I was like, sir, sir. No.
I wanna say this. I went to Japan in 2009, and people were wearing masks. I would say like 30% of the population would be wearing masks.
But the thing is, they wear masks when they're sick.
They do. No. They just wear masks when they have like flus.
But I grew up knowing that in Asian countries,
they would wear masks.
If you're going outside and you have to travel about, your mask is
like, well, places also like, you know, Beijing that have heavy pollution.
The smog and stuff. So I grew up knowing this. So I was like, oh, okay.
When people start beating up about masks, it's like, we've been doing this for mad long.
yeah. So on COVID, how has COVID impacted your creative thinking, or you creatively, should I say?
Creatively. All right. Well, first off, there's I mean, there's a couple of different ways of considering it. I think most primarily it didn't come to mind initially, but it came to mind quickly after the first initial thought. And what it was is that it definitely has influenced the work in terms of whether the work is better for it or worse for it. It's just the anxiety of this kind of situation. It's the uncertainty of the world. COVID messed up a lot of my plans, 2 years ago or whatever, and really ended up just really, really shattering my world in a bunch of ways. And then apart from that, I mean, I think any challenge in life is an opportunity to do better. Sure, great, cool. But it's not great what had to come out of that show. But the next way that it impacted is that you have to find creative ways of doing things because you're restricted in so many ways. Your resources are just different. Your scope is a little bit more limited. So it definitely forced myself to, because having to worry so much more about people's health and safety while trying to make a music video on a shoestring budget is difficult. It's obviously is a challenge, but maybe, hopefully, it's a kind of baptism by fire that someday in the future, if things are at least hopefully more under control, it's something that will serve me in having gone through this
Yeah.
You know, I already went through the difficulty of this. I like to think if I have big budgets.
Yeah, yeah. If it's
I
hard,
can-
if you can get through it when it's
This on,
when you
yeah.
have basically a little, then
Yeah.
you can.
Should be a
Man,
cakewalk in the future
when it have
proper
a lot.
budgets
Yeah.
and proper resources behind it. Yeah, that's
True,
the
true,
hope.
true.
That's the hope. So COVID has been a challenge to say the least.
Mhm.
You know?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'm more about the music. Do you think? How do I even put this, boy? What do you think you'd be doing, like, if you weren't doing music? Or were you always doing music your whole life, or what was before music?
If I wasn't doing music.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. No. If I wasn't doing music, man.
What were you doing before?
Before music, God, I've been doing music kind of off and on for so long. If I wasn't doing music, it'd be hard to envision. You know, I mean, I've always talked about the film, obviously. So the film and the music, and I think I'm a little bit better with the film than the music. I think I'm decent with the music, and I'm getting better, is what I hope.
When you say film, you mean like the actual recording or the editing of it?
Directing, right?
Oh.
I'm not fantastic with cameras. I'm not bad. I'm not fantastic with lighting. I'm not bad. Yeah. But I like to focus on writing, so the storytelling and the storytelling and directing. I really like. I'm intrigued by human behavior, and I think I started filtering out what I thought was good acting from bad acting when I was a lot younger, and so that would be the interest. But if I wasn't doing film and or music, man, I don't know. I don't think I'd be doing anything good. I've like always been real troublesome my whole life. Like,
in what way?
In
what way?
In what way? Oh God!
Like I want examples now. It's because you brought it up.
All right, like
the most thing, like
well,
once it's not too serious, then we could talk about it on here.
Sure.
Once you're not gonna be arrested afterwards.
Once I'm not a liability
Nah,
to anything.
no, I haven't murdered anyone. No, I don't know. I was just always real troublesome in school. Like I was kicked out of primary school. I had to go to a special school.
I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was
you
like,
can.
how you do that?
Because I was real disruptive. I like to think I'm a little calmer now, but like, I guess I technically must still be ADHD. I'm super ADD. I'm super attention deficit disorder, but like, yeah, I've always had crazy amounts of energy that I could not contain when I was a kid. I was really, really disruptive. I think the teachers are just like, yeah, he has to leave. We can't handle him. And so I went to a special school, and then that was real pressure. I went to Ishi's Learning Center where, to be fair to them, I think the teachers, vast majority of teachers loved their students and really cared. The principal, Mrs. Lynch, was an amazing woman. She really, really tried. But I think
like a butt coming in.
well, the butt is that, like, well, the butt would be my government. The butt would be any government of any day in Trinidad and Tobago not really supporting schools and education the way they should be. We see plenty of money going around.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it that the school I went to was as run down as it was? And they did the best that they could with it.
Yeah.
And I know my school was better than most. You know, Ishi's was difficult. And there was a little bit of a baptism by fire, like that phrase coming up again, to go through that. And of course, you know, we boys does get kind of stupid. And like,
Yeah, of course.
I'd walk outside of school and be like, people would call me retarded, you know? Like, it wasn't super fun.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say that. I don't know. I never understood it.
Mm-hmm.
But people just used to. I don't.
Used to?
I would
still
doubt
see
if it's
people
still.
be
I
cruel,
wouldn't.
you know?
Yeah, but
They do it until they get old, and then it's like somebody does something about it. I was like,
because I sure it brought
Yeah.
people who listening to this would be like, he went, is she?
He went Ishi's. I'm proud. Well, I'm proud to say that now, and like to be like,
I
yeah.
had a guy that used to go to. Well, when I went to primary school, I used to go lessons. I mean, who
Yeah.
hasn't gone to lessons for the SEA?
All right.
And the guy went Ishi's, and I was like, but you seem really normal.
You seem really normal, right?
Yeah, because
yeah.
all I've heard in primary school
is that it's for
Ishi's
specifically like Down syndrome children
slower
only.
students.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this guy's cool. Wait, what's going on here? Then I was like, I don't want to sound
it's important
rude,
to
but
no for sure. No,
but
you're right.
I was like,
that's what you were kind of taught, you know.
Legit. That's all I've been hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's all you would hear.
Only hearing that, you're thinking it's like, oh, this is this. But
yep, yeah. This is why I talk
to,
about this stuff.
After going to lessons with that guy, I
realized.
just saw it as another primary school. So
Right.
Alright, cool.
Right, yeah, and that's why I talk about this. That's why I'll mention this kind of stuff, because I think it's important. And I mean, even the kids that do have greater learning disabilities or whatever, is to realize that even if they are different than you, is okay, you know. And like, you know, it ends up being a rare thing for you to have involvement with someone who might be Down syndrome, who might have different learning disabilities.
Yeah.
And when those people just happen to be part of your life from the jump, whether they're your cousin, your uncle, your whatever, you learn that these people are no less lovable, or sometimes, and I would think almost more often, more lovable, or more enjoyable people. Because a lot of people with learning disabilities I find to be more genuine.
Yeah, I know what to say. You get more of a raw, if you want to call it, a more raw experience.
That's one way of putting it.
Their personality as a human being.
Well, I mean, there's obviously certain challenges that might be difficult to deal with. I know that mine must have been. I would not have had patience with me as a child. I barely have patience with me now. As being when I pelt myself places like. For me to have patience with me as a child.
I've asked myself, what is wrong with you?
Dude, you ever had those moments where like you think back on things you did before and you're like, what was I thinking?
Fam, what was I thinking?
I just
3 seconds ago.
I was like, what was I thinking in
doing
secondary school?
What is wrong with me?
Oh my god! If I could
remember
go back.
I remember getting so much, not a lot of trouble, but there was like some dumb things I did. It was like cool to take, this is a real random story.
No, let me hear.
The caps on tires.
Oh, the tire cap?
They had
You won't want to do
They
it?
had it.
Fam, I hate that.
They had because people had designs on them and it was like a cool thing. I was like, so the boys are like, oh yeah, well after school we taking caps. Guy goes first, take a cap. I walk off. I'm like, I get pulled. I'm like, ugh. I was trying not to get pulled, and then I was like, but why were we taking caps though?
I thought you were going to say, like, it had this guy in my...
You're just driving on the road and your tire just flat now.
No, very well. It had this
But that's
guy...
not how that works anymore, is it?
It had... What?
Huh?
I feel like you could lose a cap and your tire and get flat.
No. But no, what... I've seen this in my secondary school. A guy, he used to take off the caps of teachers' cars. And you know how, like, in a courtyard, you would have those small stones, right?
Yeah.
So then he would put the stones inside of the cap. So when you screw down the cap, it pushes that little button on the inside of the cap. So then it lets out the air. So then
What kind of wicked thing is that, bro?
I thought he was going to say that. I'm like, oh, you was one of those
fellas.
menaces to society.
Yeah, that's next level.
You were just stealing caps, you wasn't? Because I remember the security coming out. The security booth is legitimately by the TV.
Mm-hmm.
His car is by, this first chair here.
Okay.
And he would go to the guy. I saw the guy do it. He went to the back tire.
That's some evil thing.
Put the stone in it. And he's like, yes. I'm like, yes. I was like, what's going on? And he's like, come back in half an hour. I'm like, come back in half an hour. I come back half an hour and this guy's tire is flat. I'm like, hey, you're a menace. This
is the kind of man that I feel like will upgrade to like chloroforming people in the future, you know. That's some next level shit. I could never.
And I saw him going around to other teachers. I was like, I'm not going to even try to fight it, because if you're going to do it...
I know nothing.
Yeah.
I did nothing.
Yeah, but...
Nice. I mean, I let me not beat it, but let me not act like I wasn't. I had my moments of being like a bully in school.
But
you know?
I think
I was bullied, but then I became a bully in some senses. I don't know. I think it was a mixed bag.
Yeah, but he needs services now, so I think he might...
No. Sorry, what? He needs services? You mean like he's a police or...
Police, Coast Guard...
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the worst thing that could have happened in my opinion.
I think, I don't know. I don't keep track of these people, but last I saw, he was in the services. I'm like, I hope maybe you've changed, maybe. But
I doubt.
We'll see. We can only hope. We can only hope. But yeah, these are people I don't really keep in contact with.
Maybe best not to. I know a couple very decent police officers, but I think
All of
the
them are
system's
cool.
super broken.
All of them are cool. Like I've spoken to some of them. My mom knew a couple and they would just be like passing and she'd be like, yeah, Jabari. I'm like, I don't know you, sir.
But that's good. I don't know. I've known too
Like,
many
just in
bad
case.
bad situations, but I don't know. I think policing needs an overhaul for sure.
I have
Been in a couple.
yeah. So you see the car that I drive.
Yeah.
Just what? 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Coming out of a gas station, my brother buckles in. coming out of the gas station. You know, sometimes the seatbelt might roll up, so he's like adjusting it so that it's flush against his chest. So he was adjusting it. As soon as I come out of the exit, passenger seatbelt. I'm like, hold up. But I told my brother before we left, I was like,
that's wild.
Before we left the gas station, I told my brother,
Put it on.
I was like, we can pull over. He's like, but we ain't doing nothing. I was like, no.
It can happen. Yeah, no, I know.
Trust and believe. Trust and believe. We can pull over. He's like,
it's just different.
we ain't do nothing. I was like,
yeah, it's just
I
different.
was like, John, we can pull over. No question. Look at the two of us. It's 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and look what car we driving.
We can pull
over. So said, so done.
So done.
So when I explained this whole situation to the officer, he was like, well, I'm going to give you a warning on your license. But if it was $1,000 fine and 4 points on your license, I was like, all right.
Yeah, because he doesn't have his license.
Yeah. But I'm like, all right, you know what? I ain't getting no tickets.
Yeah, no.
I will take the warning, but all you're real wrong, for that.
Yeah, the funny thing, I think people and then the police officers themselves forget, you're in the service of the people. You are supposed to make people feel safe and protected, not persecuted.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I think there needs to be a big overhauling of the attitude. Yes, if you're dealing with difficult persons and whatever, but it's just that I think there's like this expectation. We could do whatever we want. You just gotta comply, and if you don't comply, I get to beat you up. That's not how that's supposed to be. Our tax dollars go to you. You are supposed to be in service of the people. You know? That needs to change, for sure.
Okay. So I guess more back on the...
Away from civil society issues.
We went off topic.
We did.
And people are like,
what's a good thing?
you'll always go off topic. I'm like, but it's just a conversation though. I feel like we get the main points out at some point in the
If you follow
in the audio. If you follow it, you'll get the gist of it, and we post clips. So it's like you don't even have to watch it to get the main points. You could just watch the clips. But more about, I was just thinking of just all I've seen is music, and
he models.
oh yeah, he models. Mod L.
I don't know
I saw
about
the
that.
shoots.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
No, you post a lot of, I was a lot, but like a couple stuff of you just modeling and being a supportive friend.
Yeah.
Trying, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's cool. Some people don't even have that support group. It's
Yeah, I mean, I have the support group, so why would I
struggle
give
to
back?
find a model, you know, or
Fair
even
enough.
just to ask a friend, even if it's like an awkward friend, or you know, they're not as comfortable.
Some of the most awkward people come up with some of the most brilliant stuff. So
Yeah, but like I don't think I'm the greatest looking guy. I feel like I'm an average-ish looking guy. But if somebody asks me, I'll be like, yeah, sure, I
might agree.
could
with
try
that.
my
I
best.
feel like that too. So fair
artist gonna agree with me. I'm gonna be like, no, you're supposed to make me feel good.
no, I think you're a good-looking guy. I have no problem saying
No,
that you're a
but
good-looking dude.
I said I feel like I'm an average-ish looking guy, and you're like, I agree with that. I too, and I was like, oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Nah,
You get it?
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what to judge people. What I will think is good-looking or not might be kind of strange to most people.
True.
I don't know. But yeah, no, I never really identified. I've done modeling stuff. I never really identified as a model. But yeah, I guess I do some of that stuff if I dig the content. I just want to do thoughtful things. I just don't want to do things that are like
Just because it's cool.
Generic.
yeah, I don't want no generic, nothing just kind of like too self-indulgent. I want to do things if they have a point to it. If I'm just taking a picture because I think I look pretty, for me, I think that's fine for other people. For me, I just don't really, I don't mess with that so much.
So everything you do needs to have like some kind of story behind it.
I'd prefer it to. I mean, not obviously not everything. Like if I wanted to get a tattoo that didn't have a particular storyline, I just thought it looked good looking, and I would extend that feeling towards other people who get tattoos purely for aesthetics. There's certain tattoos that I think are hideous, and when someone gets a tattoo like that, I will judge you, hopefully quietly.
Why?
But no, that's just how I am.
He said hopefully quietly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't need to have no public announcement. Like my opinion on someone else's body, their fashion, whatever, is not important. I'm entitled to it. I'm fine to like something and dislike something. I don't need to tell anyone that. But the point being that that I think it's fine to do things purely for aesthetics. Aesthetics is a big thing for the things that I create. And I mean, there's stories within aesthetics. I just want things to be a little bit more thoughtful. I don't want to just do something for vanity's sake.
Okay, I get you.
And I'm sure I do things based on had to be some level of vanity, but I try to keep it minimal, you know?
Yeah.
Keep the contents in mind. Keep the, what is the word?
What was that?
Something fell out of Micah.
A screw fell.
It's still working, huh?
No, it's still
Was it
working out.
Gucci?
It just fell. I was like,
It's a random screw. I want the whatever is behind the content to be the most important thing, you know? I don't want to get caught up in my own reflections on myself, you know?
yeah. What is like your writing process? I saw you have this book, and I was trying to figure out what was the book for. I thought you were gonna read something from it.
Well, this is a good one to happen to have in my hand. This is Keaton Henson's Gloaming book. He's a super sad, morose, kind of like melancholic artist who I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
But his writing is beautiful. His writing is gorgeous. What inspires me would be a bunch of things, whether I'm feeling like up or down or whatever. But sometimes just visuals that I see, as in like other people's work, other people's art, or whether it's moving, it's still, it's whatever kind of art it is, would probably inspire me. Sometimes just things that I think up in my own head. I write, on a typical day, I'll write 1 or 2 poems. This is no cap. Like, I write a lot. I write poems on a daily basis. I will write short stories. That screw is persistent. Folks, I just want to let you know that a screw has fallen out of this
Everything just falls
microphone
apart
twice. Yeah, I feel like the chairs are going to start to fall apart. It's going to become Inception in this bitch. No, these chairs are real solid. I have lashed my shins on these chairs too many times to know that shit is not falling apart.
It ain't going on anywhere. But yeah, so coming from that, the music writing,
Right.
I know some people, when they're creating music, they sit down with the beat and they will be like listening to the beat and then seeing what fits where.
Yeah.
But for you, is it different? Is it depending on a particular point in time? How is the music creating process? So from the first thought to the end of a music shoot to posting on YouTube, talk me through that process.
Oh, okay. There's no one specific way. There's definitely times that I've heard a beat and then start writing off of it. There's a bunch of songs that I've put out that have been based off of hearing the beats and writing off of it. There were songs that I would have written on my guitar and then would have been adopted to whatever production by whatever producer I was working with. I've done a lot of ghostwriting for other artists. That's initially what I was doing before I got into releasing the music publicly. And I would get sent a lot of reference tracks, like Pop Smoke type beats, Georgie type beats, like different type beats, and I would write off of that for other artists. So I kind of carried that into my own music, because once in a while I'd write something that I would think to myself for another artist, not for me.
Yeah.
That I would think to myself, I wouldn't mind putting this out as myself. I think some of the best things I've written weren't for me, and were written as a ghostwriter, and that means not, giving up your credit for greater financial remuneration.
how do you get into ghostwriting?
It was just by chance. I worked on a song with a fella who needed like some pop stuff, and he was mostly a writer for a rapper.
Okay.
A friend of mine working in like clubs in Toronto was like, yo, my dude is nice, like he could rap, he could sing.
I feel like you have all these friends in all these places, and I'm like, how do you have all these friends in all these places?
No, I kind of outgrow and go in person. I just kind of put myself out there. I don't know.
Okay. Is that because you travel a lot too?
Yeah. I got kind of bitten by the travel bug when I was young. I used to work at Zen, and I worked at Morvino, and I'd save up my money. And no cap, I used to fly to New York when I was still in high school on weekends and tell my parents that I was going to.
So the way how you talking, I don't know if you're in your 20s or if you're in your 50s, because the amount of places this man is like, oh yeah,
that's a
I
good
spent some
question.
time in Japan, and then I spent some time in Toronto.
So
I spent some
how old
time
would you think I am? Because I bet you would not know how old I am. How old do you assume I am? I'm the Lizard King, bro. I'm 50. No, I'm not 50, but I'm older than you think, I bet. How much would you have guessed before? Let me hear what you would have guessed. Let me hear what you would have guessed coming into the interview.
Max 29.
Max 29. Okay, cool. That's not a crazy assumption.
Yeah, I would say like 28, 29.
28, 29.
From seeing you on Instagram, I like
sweet 35.
yeah.
That's cool. No, I mean I'm 31.
Oh.
So like I've been around for time, but Yeah, I often.
It's just how you casually mention. I have no concept of time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, to fly to, and the way how he says spend some time, I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, I took a break off social media for
Like
5 or
5
6
years.
years. I'm like,
How old are
5
you,
or 6
motherfucker?
years. Wait, so
Are you a vampire? Who
hold
are
up.
you?
Wait, much breaks.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, in 1970, I spent a summer in Italy. You know, like yeah, I'm a little bit advanced in the age for what I'm doing. I feel like I am. I feel like I'm a little bit behind the curve.
Yeah.
But I didn't plan on doing what I'm doing now. And now that I'm into it, I was kind of bit by the travel bug when I was a kid, and it became a big thing for me. Yeah.
So what was the plan before?
What was the plan before, man? I wanted to
You
do.
said that you didn't plan for this, so you had
No, I didn't.
some other plan,
I
right?
didn't plan on doing the music any way that I am. I really just wanted to get into writing and working on movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought maybe at best I would become like, I'd start directing things. And I did shoot a feature film that I am
It's
now.
currently, or it has been released?
No, I still have it. Well, it's been finished for like 2.5 years now. It's just because of everything with COVID, and I decided to edit it down to a short version because the feature
You're doing the
film.
editing?
Huh?
You're doing the editing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not the best editor. Like, I really need to put more time into learning specific, whether it's opacity or whatever it is, like learning different little tricks to make, my transitions, different things more enjoyable. But I have the vision, I think. So when I have a decent editor with me, it enables me to kind of get the things done. Exactly, I can explain what I want better.
Yeah, I want to. Well, I was telling Jabari a couple of weeks ago that I want to start getting into video a little more because I dabble in the photography.
Right.
Yeah, but I want to get more into the video. But I would have like a concept, right? But I would reach a point where I'm like, okay, how do
you make this happen?
Yeah, how do I know what shots I want, but in terms of, okay, we have shots A, B, and C.
Yeah.
How do I put the plus sign in between A?
Oh, how do I connect the two?
Connect A and B to equal C. That's my issue.
Right.
I'm like,
how do you do this?
weave
It's
my
tough.
way? Yeah.
That's why I was really fortunate to go to film school. I'm real grateful that
I just have A, B, and I know I want to reach to C, but how do I reach to C is my issue. I know what shots I want, and I know how I want them to look, but in terms of putting them all together to tell a cohesive story, I don't know how to put those pieces
Sometimes
together.
you just have to look at films, bro. You have to look at films and see how
Yeah.
they do it and really pay attention as opposed to getting taken up with the story.
By
Like, look
chance,
at it more mechanically, mind you.
do you watch terrible movies just for the fun of it? Because I like sometimes watching terrible movies.
I've never watched it personally. I couldn't get through it.
You've not watched the whole thing, or you've watched a piece?
I can't even say I've watched Peace, but like there's certain things like I almost put it into the same category. It's not the same category, but think of Two Girls, One Cup. I've never watched it, and I have never been tempted to. I already could tell that it was something I wouldn't want to see from context, so I never scarred myself with that shit.
I'll check up on you in a week and
What if I
be like,
watched
no,
Sharknado?
to watch, Sharknado. It's a great one.
Alright, bro. I wouldn't waste your time, but okay, you can if you'd like to.
It's a great show.
Pretty sure I'm not gonna watch it.
Nah, it's so bad.
I think too much into everything. My thoughts bleed into so many different aspects of something. So I would just be uncomfortable watching this movie, thinking about what this person was thinking when they were shooting this. What the
Same.
Yeah,
That's
with the
what school did to
assistant
me
would-
too.
what the production assistants must have been thinking on his goddamn film. The director himself, if he's self-aware enough to know he's directing utter trash. You know what I mean?
The studio looking at this and then saying,
Just being
yes, we're putting this out. Mm-hmm.
Who knows what the perspective of, maybe they were just like, well, we're not going to waste this. We're just going to pull it out and expect it to do terrible. And then it just made tons of money and became a cultural phenomenon. I don't know. No, I don't. I watch. No, I don't think I do. I mean, The Room was something that was pretty epic because it was so bad. You ever heard of The Room? Yeah, I watched The Room.
I'll watch your room.
James Franco did. You did watch it?
I didn't watch it.
No, you didn't watch it.
I'll watch
James
it.
Franco did the the Disaster Artist. He did the movie based on it. But the film itself you should watch because it's just epic how bad this film is.
Okay.
It's real awkward. But so much money was put into it, it seems like it's a real Hollywood film. But it's just like a real Hollywood film with a person who seems like they might have Asperger's, like Asperger's. I never know how to pronounce that, which might be offensive in itself.
Yeah.
on so many levels.
Mm,
Because I'm using it seemingly as an insult, but
yeah.
nothing against my ass
Yeah, 'cause
Major's brethren.
I
I have a couple.
because I've like I've looked at like I don't know if you know like Catwoman with Halle Berry. Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty awful movie.
Oh, that was like
It was awful,
whoa,
right?
whoa, whoa,
It was
whoa,
bad.
whoa.
I mean, we love a Halle Berry.
Jeez.
If someone's like, I don't like Halle Berry, I'd be like,
Whoa, hold on.
I'd be like, all right, bro.
Hold up.
Keep your opinion to yourself. We all love Halle. You could GTFO.
Yeah.
We'll keep Halle.
Yeah,
but Catwoman was awful.
to have
Yeah.
some parts, I'm like, no, I no.
Yeah, no, that's
It's
just no.
One comes to one thing comes to mind from that movie is that basketball court scene. Jeez,
Oh God, yeah.
too
yeah.
many cuts and.
Oh, have you ever seen anything? Yo, just while we're on this podcast, I'm gonna show you all a thing from Liam Neeson, and it's called like Liam Neeson Too Many Cuts or something, or Liam Neeson going over a fence. It's hilarious.
It's like almost every bounce of the ball. There was
Yeah, I know. It was way too much. Check this out.
I'm not gonna lie, in the video.
My,
Oh yeah, that's
How many times? I'm just
that's
gonna
what they
let
do
you
with like
bask in this again.
That's what they do with this
I think
show.
I count 11 cuts.
They
Going
do
over
that
one
with
fence.
what do they call it? Like those Indian movies
Yeah.
or Indian shows.
oh, Bollywood.
Oh my kasam say.
Kasam saying.
Anybody walk in the room that's like a dramatic thing is like you have to see them.
Yes.
Oh my
I remember
goodness.
Dawn. Me and my best friend went and saw Dawn. I think it was like the first Dawn or maybe Dawn 2 or whatever in theaters. And every time he came into a room, they would go, Dawn, 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 Dawn. Like he could come out of the bathroom. He could just literally have just come out of the bathroom. Dawn, 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 Dawn. He could be eating a bowl of cereal, whatever it is, they're whispering his name. I thought that shit was wild.
So bad.
Different folks, different strokes, different sensibilities. You know?
So, do you direct all the videos? By
Um,
chance?
yeah, I don't think any that I've put
Is
out
anyone
thus
you'd like
far.
to work with?
In
wise?
terms of sure. I mean, I was real fortunate in working
Or
with
even music-wise.
Josiah from me jump. Oh, music wise. Oh my God, the list is never ending. I want to work with Frank.
Yo, I
Frank
love
Ocean.
Josiah's work.
Josiah's work is great. Yeah.
I feel like he's just too good. I
he
don't
is.
know.
He's super talented.
And I saw his story, like he just left. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, he was always in school. It's just cool.
Yeah, well,
kind of brought him
So
back.
in my head,
Yeah.
he was in school in Atlanta, I think it was, or
Yeah,
wherever,
yeah.
for like however long. So he would have made his connections,
Yeah.
and then he would have come here and was like, oh, well, I have all these connections here. I feel like
Yes.
he outgrew Trinidad. Like, if somebody could outgrow Trinidad, it would have probably been him.
Sure. Yeah. He's super talented. Any of the videos that we did together, I directed. He did the camera work and whatnot, and he edited. And he's super talented. Recently, the last video with actually the last two videos. I mean, one was a little bit more of a candid video for the song 18 Days.
Hmm.
But Dane
I saw
Padmore,
that guy. He came
Mm.
to where I worked, and I was like, I know you.
the guy, what Issa from the song.
How do I say his name?
Is it Issa? Well, which one?
Bigger guy,
from
dark
18
skin.
Days? Yeah, Issa.
Yeah, 18 days, yeah.
Yeah, Issa. No, he's super talented. Issa's amazing.
I saw him, I was like, I don't want to bring it up because I feel like
Yeah, no,
you're
he
very
sounds like,
distinct face.
yeah, he sounds like a mix between Khalid and Giveon. He's super talented.
Same thing I said when I listened to it. I was like,
Beautiful voice. Yeah.
I hear this voice. It
Him
sounds
and
so good.
his producer, Mark Halal. I was introduced to him as Lal. He's dope. They're both great. Yeah, they're super talented. Trinidad is just so full of talented people. In terms of music though, Frank Ocean, Tyler the Creator, Joji. I mean, if Nina Simone was alive, that would have been someone I would have
Well,
wanted.
that's a song.
Nina Simone is like, she was pretty big when I was a teenager. Like my sister put me on to her and a couple of people.
You know who that is?
Oh, she's incredible.
What would I say is a big song?
Well, she did a lot of covers and whatnot. She did great personal music. But like her cover of Strange Fruits is super haunting. Cinnamon. Is Cinnamon? I don't know if she wrote Cinnamon. No, I think Cinnamon was someone else. She did a lot of covers.
Yeah, she has
But it
big
didn't-
songs.
But it didn't matter whether or not they were covers because any of her covers are
Felt like
absolutely
hers.
her own. Like Ella Fitzgerald.
Don't touch
was
them after.
amazing, but something about Nina was like different.
Don't touch the song after. Just let that be
boy.
hers. And
Oof. Yeah, that's
no, it's like
That's
most people
what it
was like, the song is so good with her.
It's done. It's done.
yeah.
You could have
no
written
more
this
covers.
song.
Yeah.
Like your grandpa could have written it, and it could have
It don't matter.
carried down.
Um,
If she sings this song,
Here's an example
it's her
of a
song
cover
now.
that doesn't work in my opinion. John Legend, love the guy, love John Legend, but Redemption song cover by John Legend, nah, bro, sorry, bro, nah, not with it.
Do you like judge people's music taste? Like if you see someone's phone, right?
Yeah.
And you see their music on their phone.
Fully, very much. And the thing is that I'm okay, if people told me my music was trash, maybe they don't need to say that, but I don't mind. Half of the time I think my music is trash, and
same thing with my pictures. I'm like, this is great. I post it. I hate this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No, I'm my opinion is only my own. You know, is my limited scope. But yeah, no, I can't, like, I couldn't stand Miley Cyrus, like, on many different levels. I just don't enjoy what she creates. No.
You mean before or after the?
At any which point, I've never been
before or after Wrecking
There's no
Ball?
point judging her when she was a child. Who am I to say anything? And we all, grew and
Yeah.
But where she's at now and whatever journey she's been on in the last decade of awareness I've had of her, I can't really stand her personality or her music, and that's fine. Because, like, if she never knew who I was or knew who I was and didn't like my stuff, I'm okay with that. I'm deeply okay with that. If Frank Ocean knew me and knew my stuff and hated it, that would probably affect me. But in the same time, you have to accept that and move on with your life. What you gonna do?
It was like Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, that hurts.
Miley Cyrus, I don't care, but
I don't care
Frank,
about, you know?
that one would sting a little bit.
Yeah, that would sting, but yeah, no, I think it's important to have your own taste, and yeah, so I would judge people's music. I do. I'm terrible with that. I'm very judgmental.
Okay, I feel like, do you like listen to all types of music, or are you very specific to?
Nah, all types. I don't have enough lifetime to listen to all the music I want to listen to, I think. Yeah, I mean, I know a couple country songs that I actually like, because country would probably be the least of my general.
It depends on what it is.
I wouldn't say that.
Sometimes the lyrics are like,
sometimes
you're really singing.
Willie Nelson will sing about some stuff that hurts you in a way that's profound, you know? Yeah.
It's like, I don't really think this is what, I'm good.
Oh, well then, yes. No,
Yeah. Some of them are like very...
No, there's stuff that's just talking about generic stuff like drinking beer and driving a truck in the mud, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't relate to this in the slightest bit.
You know what, like, I don't want to say it drives me up a wall, but like, it slightly upsets me when it's like, parents, they're like, oh, back in the day, they don't make music as good as this.
Yeah.
But it's like, back in the day, they were singing the same things, just hiding it more. Now we're just like, yeah, this is this is this.
Yeah.
Because I was given the reference to a song called Mrs. Jones.
Yeah.
And it's like about a little kid meeting an older lady in like a coffee shop or something like that every day, and she's married. And I'm like, these are the songs y'all were pushing though.
Yeah.
My songs are basically, I guess, the same thing, but they're just saying it outright. They're not dancing around the bush and be like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a give and take. I think there was a lot more. There's a different kind of discipline and a different kind of passion, I think, that went into it before. And I do think music is in many ways a little easier to make now, as more people can get into it or whatever. But there'll always be the people that try to push past that. You can tell there's certain people who really care about their craft, and I don't think enough people in a mainstream sense understand people like, I referenced him already, and I can't reference him enough because I'm a huge fan and I have a lot of respect for his work. Tyler, the Creator. People don't realize how involved he is and how much he cares and how much he really tries to craft this kind of thing. I was talking about it the other day that DJ Khaled, I think it wasn't even for this last album, it was for Ego. DJ Khaled was complaining about the fact that like he makes music for people to hear, and he doesn't he was just intimating that like why Tyler the Creator would ever have a bigger opening than him,
you mean the number one?
Yeah, I think he had the number one or whatever.
That was his first number one, like in all the years that he's been.
Yeah, and I don't mean to just be talking shit about DJ Khaled, but bro, you bring people into a room, famous people into a room who are obviously very talented, and I might not like Justin Bieber, but Justin Bieber has a very good voice, has good melody sense, and when he works with all these other big people and a big producer, they're not going to produce something that sonically sounds bad. DJ Khaled, you just brought these people together. Shut up, you're not in the same league as Tyler, the Creator. That's like, you know how, you might not know this, but the country India has amazing field hockey players. Imagine taking a field hockey player, putting him on ice skates, and then having him try to play the world's best ice skating hockey player. Bro, it's no competition. That's DJ Khaled versus Tyler, the Creator. Get the hell out of here, bro. Like, there is no competition.
I understand. It's sort of like bringing the best ingredients into a kitchen with the best chef.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
You know?
and it's sort of saying, just because you own a restaurant
Mhm.
and you have the best everything,
Yeah.
you
Doesn't
only
mean you're a
put
good
in-
chef.
Yeah. Doesn't mean you're like,
Yep.
oh, I have the best food. So no, your chef makes the best food.
Right. I could, if I had the funding to put a restaurant together, maybe I would put together a really good restaurant. Doesn't mean that I'm the like. So yes, I think
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
good analogy for sure.
But oh, I had. Yeah, I did the thing. I did
He did the thing.
What's
at
the
least,
thing?
At least one time every episode, we're like,
You just go blank.
yeah.
Yeah.
At least one time every episode.
It must happen. Is that
We don't have phone issues, but
That's okay. Well, let me ask the question. What part of Trinidad you all from? I just get curious
that's
about it.
that's a very difficult question for me. I've been basically everywhere.
That means you have an interesting answer. So where was the tapestry?
Where was I born? I was from a small age. I was in Gonzales.
Hmm.
And I was in Valley, and I was in
That's a
St.
lit
James,
area, bro,
and I was
Gonzales.
in South.
Is it the place I think in Gonzales? Is that not like kind of lit area? Where is that?
It's a bad area.
It's just over Belmont.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonzales is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
rough one, isn't it?
I don't know. I was like there from super young, and then they
For
moved.
super young.
Yeah.
Alright, well, no, I've brethren
he's
throughout
from the
that.
sticks.
Nine.
To talk to Shania. We were supposed to go to Shania for this thing, so she called me now. She probably called in to see if she could help, but
Oh,
I'll have to call her back.
I didn't know were we supposed to go up there?
Go away.
Who's Shania?
Oh, sorry, I was saying Shania.
Right, Shania's the other friend. Who's?
Yeah, she's amazing.
You said another name today.
I don't know if I did.
Something.
Yeah, he said.
It would have been Shania because Shania's like.
No, you
You said something
have
else.
a different name for her?
Sinead.
No, I said Sinead. No, Sinead's upstairs. Sinead
Oh.
is. Yeah, no. This is a
Right, so I
different.
was like, it's a different
No, yeah,
name.
this is a person who would have supplied the. She works. She does a lot of the creative direction for me. You're coming down now. She does a lot of Sinead doing. She's being a little shy. She does a lot of the. She does a lot of the project management, like how would I describe her? She puts productions together. She's like a proper executive
Manager?
producer. We call her manager, but like
Oh.
man, she's
Do
so
you have
dope.
one?
Do I have a manager?
Yeah.
At this point, no. I mean, I have people that I have a huge team that I work with, that we work on like kind of everything consistently with, but not necessarily. Carly, Fifi is a manager of sorts, but her and Graham Nath deal with a lot of my publishing, a lot of my distribution, and they help me out with that stuff. And we've been in talks about solidifying it, and because we've done good work together, and I've been really grateful to work with them, and they're lovely people, and I trust them. You know, trusting people is, in this industry is super important, and is like is a blessing. You know.
I always hear about music industry. It's like this industry
Or
is
if you
so.
find people dumb with you, run with them.
Yeah, sure. I mean, any industry has
Yeah.
difficulties.
No, but I think it's
yeah.
specifically the music.
industry. You hear
They
so
just
many
always
stories
you
of
just hear stories of like,
You do.
stab me in my back head.
Yeah.
and then they hit on a song that's
Exactly.
like, oh, what you be going through?
Yeah. I mean, well, any human being has conflict in all kind of different areas of their life, and I think because the what results in the quote unquote music industry or the film industry is such a visible thing. The whole point is you put it out
Yeah.
there. Like business is wild. Like working into like when I was a kid, I worked in a lot of restaurants or whatever, teenage years and whatnot, and you come to learn like there's so much culture to any industry, any sector. There's backstabbing and all. There's, for women, I remember talking to someone in school, someone who was an administrator in the school I went to in Canada, and they were saying, I was saying, in the film industry, they were asking me about it because I was working on some films at the time, and they were saying, or I was saying, sorry, God, this is becoming convoluted. I was saying that it's so difficult for women in film, and this woman who works as an administrator for a university was like, yeah, it is, but it's hard for women in every single industry. Sexual harassment, etc., exists for women in every industry. It's not least of which, it's probably really particularly bad in the film and music industry, but that kind of manipulation, coercion, those kind of troubles are for women everywhere. So I think sometimes we forget that every industry has. If you're working in camera, if it's just strictly photography, you still will experience a lot of trouble, a lot of backstabbing, etc.
Yeah, well, we hear a lot of stories of
Yeah, I hear stories, but I haven't personally really experienced
Yeah.
anything as yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
But
good for you.
going back to the main question, I'm from the Southlands. Well, not really
Right.
Southlands. I'm from
Cuba.
Cuba. Yeah.
Kuva.
Well, my house
I'm in Woodbrook right
Wow.
now.
But you grew up in the West End because
No,
you
I'm-
wouldn't say you're from South if you grew up
Yeah,
in Kuva.
um,
Because Kuva,
okay,
not South, my G.
Yeah, so
And a white boy shouldn't be telling you that.
no. Well, why I say South, right, is because I went to school,
Right.
Port of Spain.
Right. I was right, by the way.
About what?
About him being more of a West person.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because let me be straight. I've said that as well. Like parts of Central being South,
No,
which
no,
is not.
I personally know it's Central.
No, I
right?
know you know that.
Yeah, but
yeah,
everyone,
habit.
everyone else,
yeah,
because most of my friends is from on this side.
yeah.
like,
We'll say that South.
why is boy so far? That's
Yeah,
South.
and
You
right
know, I'm like, sir, no.
I
I
hear
think
people
that,
say, anything past the lighthouse is south.
That's the whole thing. Yeah.
What does that even mean, the lighthouses?
The
Right
lighthouse is
It's
literally
right there.
So Parsi Lighthouse is still in Northwest Corridor, which is wild, but people think
yeah.
I used to think Shigwan was south because I
Yeah.
stupid and I didn't really be past there.
But
Yeah, I didn't go that far.
Like teenage years when he
Yeah.
wasn't driving, what business I had going down south?
Yeah, but my mom and dad. Well, my dad is from Dago. My mom
Okay.
is from Belmont.
Like, Two really nice. I really like. I'm from Dago and I like Belmont a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Belmont is nice.
Yeah.
Belmont is a cool
yeah,
area.
I lived there for 2 years.
So much culture in Belmont.
Yeah. So
Just small roads.
Yeah, real small roads. I won't lie.
yeah. But when I was born, lived in Dago majority of the time. Parents was going to buy a house in Trent City, Millennium Park.
Okay.
Those areas.
Wait.
But ended up buying a house. Well, my dad's friends is a civil engineer. It's
Nice.
like save you $1 million. Don't go there.
Don't go to
And he took my
Millennium.
dad to some of the houses that they were building. He's like, I don't know what these people building.
Yeah.
Seeing waves in the walls, not to bust anybody bubble.
No, I get you.
He's like waves in the walls. He's like, no.
I heard about a lot of shoddy workmanship
Yeah.
in that area.
Yeah, so ended up finding a residential area in Cuba, and we've been there. And well, I'm sort of back and forth
Uh-huh.
throughout my life, where at certain points when my grandparents died, went back up to where my dad grew up, because it's sort of a biggish house. And
Yeah.
it's like, and anyways,
Lots of space.
yeah, lots of space.
Nice.
And it was just my grandmother and my aunt living in the house.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like, I mean, why not? So we went up there,
Mhm.
and like every weekend we would go down to the house, check the house.
Mhm.
Everything good? Okay,
Nice.
back up
Back
the
up.
road. But now we've sort of settled there.
In Cuba.
Yeah, but the reason
Nice.
people always ask me, well, if you live in Cuba, why not go to school in Cuba? Because it's like half an hour, well, an hour drive back and forth.
Yeah, no, I'm
of traffic.
familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, my mom works in Port of Spain
Right.
all her life. My dad works at Caribbean Airlines.
Oh, true. Oh, you know, wait, has your dad been working in Caribbean Airlines for a long
My
time?
dad has been in Caribbean Airlines from the jump.
My G, telling you right now, your dad and my moms will know each other very well. My mom's a flight attendant for 25 years. My moms will know
Oh,
your
yeah.
dad, like, without...
I wouldn't doubt.
He was there in BWIA.
Yes.
He will know my mother.
You'll just say
Like,
his name and he'll just be
he'll
like,
know my mother.
"Do you
really.
know so-and-so?"
Catherine
And
Salmaya
he'll just
White.
get a flashback
He'll-
into
Don't
that.
mind, right?
He'll
Okay.
know Catherine Salmaya White without a doubt, because my mom's is like
Yeah.
close with everyone there.
You can ask her if she knows Brian Matthew.
I'll ask her. Yeah, no, I'm real lucky. Anytime I've gotten on a flight once it's Carl, I shouldn't say anytime. Almost anytime.
Yeah.
Almost anytime. They'll check the stub. It'll be some old aunt. She'll check the stub and she go, okay. And she'll say, you see,
Yes.
sit, you see, 2F is open.
Yeah.
And then trying to give me champagne, whole
My dad, well, staff tickets. My dad
Of course.
sent us to. Hold the mic closer.
Sorry,
Yeah,
my bad.
yeah. So
Trying to
Tess
figure
had
it
a
out.
time. We went to New York.
Right.
But my dad, whenever my dad's buying stuff, he always books first class.
Right.
Period.
Why
Because-
not?
Yeah.
Why not, bro?
And then
If you can't,
Oh, you
like
like to be
enjoy
sorry?
it.
Yeah. Well, so
Oh, okay.
we
This is a
When-
crazy story.
we went to New York
Right.
and we were there for a while, and
Ah.
then because we were sitting on the terminal waiting,
Yeah.
and then one of the flight attendants asked to see our ticket. and she looked at the thing, and she looked at the last name. She was like, Matthew?
Brian Matthews, son.
Like, he said all the up here by all yourself? Like, where will we get lost? And I was like, come.
Just take care of your hands.
Come. And then another time,
Yeah.
also in New York, it was some guy, and he was like, Matthew, son, I just saw ropes being
Just being pull up red carpet, roll out.
I was like, oh
Yep.
man, this is the life.
You see, having kind parents that worked in an airline,
yeah.
because when you have parents that did things for people and were good to
Yeah.
people has be good
But-
back. I've missed flights and literally I was dead in the water and happened to get
So-
put on a flight because of who my mom
Hence
is.
the reason the travel bug. I
Yeah,
understand that
you got into
completely.
it. Yep.
But so yeah, my dad working Carl. Well,
That's
he
a
got
blessing.
really
I feel bad for
but-
Jabari, for other Jabari,
Me?
because
Yeah,
because that was a fortunate thing to
we
experience.
don't have that thing on these ends. We have very basic parents.
Okay, fair enough.
Don't
fair
do
enough.
too much for them. You know, we don't do too much, but they're known to be very nice people.
Once you have love, trust me, because there are people who have all kind of
No,
things.
a
that
lot
their
of people
parents
have been like-
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been like, "Yo, Maria's son." I'm like, "Yeah, she's so nice," and
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's such a blessing.
"Yeah," but when she's upset with me, she's not the nicest.
Oh, bro, when my mom's is upset, we used to call her demon lady, Dory. People don't know
But it was just me though. It was just me and her.
harsh, you know,
Yeah.
and,
So it's like,
fair
she's
enough.
upset. It's just me.
Yeah, taking it all out on
so
you.
well, my dad is in management, right?
Right.
In Cal, right?
Right.
For engineering man. But
Yeah, nice, nice. He's still there?
yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. So you don't know what. Yeah, it's one of those things like your dad is a nice guy, but you know.
You don't mess with him.
Don't.
Nah, I doubt
I-
it. Yeah.
Because right now they're having issues. Anyways, they're having issues out there. But
Man, putting it also on the
Exposed.
podcast.
No.
Don't let Pops say this.
Every company has their issues, but
No, of
Anyway.
course, of course.
you know when things bad when you get a call and then
Mood change.
Oh, mood
Mr.
change.
Mr. Matthew. You know when you start because my dad puts it on speaker. He home, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So Chief, Mr. Matthew, X, Y, and Z, and you hear the tone all inflection in his voice, and he's like, but I just hear when you hear the but, you hear the change in the but, and I'm just here like, just stay. Everyone in the house is just gonna stay out.
Yeah.
of
You
his-
just not a tiptoe out the door.
So I was like, you need help with
It's like get
anything?
dicey.
You know,
Yeah.
you need help carrying your bag to the car.
He's like, when you ever carry my bag before? What you want from me?
So when you reach home, it's like, how your day was? Well, I'm like,
Uh-oh.
you
That was
need...
the question.
you need to ask, how was your day, so you know which questions you could ask following up. Oh, yeah.
Depending on how good the day was.
Yeah,
it could be like,
yeah.
but can I get a little drop down the road? No.
It's like, how was your day? It was alright, you know. So for school, right? I needed to get X, Y, and Z. You don't mind, you know? Or you know, how was the day? Well, it had a lot of chat. Okay, alright. Bedtime. So yeah,
Probably for the best.
yeah. So love is important.
No, love is mad important.
Love in the house.
Love in the house. That's like
Everybody has been saying that.
That's one of my favorite phrases.
Oh
I feel
my.
like.
I came from the old guy, right? Where he was like, love in the house. You began your accents.
No, that's
I wonder-
That's not from him?
Who did I first
No,
hear
but
that
it's more recent though.
I feel like a year or two ago I started to say that a lot. And I don't imagine it was me coining it, but like I remember me and Kieran saying that to each other a lot. Yeah, I love that phrase.
I've just been hearing it a lot more because of probably the guy.
I think it's a
Big city guy.
fantastic.
Yeah, big city guy.
Nice.
You know him? You
I'm
don't
not-
know?
No, I don't know who he is, but
Oh,
I
that's-
really like it as a Trinidadian phrase. Like,
It's so funny.
Big city guys. All they began on their accent.
Yeah. He just does that in the whole video. It's like you bring on your
Nice.
accents and he has like a little mustache right there.
well, I don't want to hate on him, but I'm not really
Yeah, love
enthused to
videos.
watch whatever's going on. But okay, cool. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad he's using my phrase. It's definitely not my phrase, but
So I just find this funny. I was like,
that's a cool phrase.
there's nothing
I
to
like
say.
it. I like it as vibes.
I have to talk about your hand because I've just been watching your watch, and I just
What you watch is intense.
my eye.
I know. It's
Just drawn it.
This was a gift from a label when I was ghostwriting for artists. All this stuff is very dubious, trust me. But I got a lot of.
It looks nice.
It does. I got a lot of opportunities from how I would dress, etc. Weirdly enough, in the industry I'm in, with ghostwriting. So I just decided to. I really care if I'm being obnoxious. I'm just gonna do me. And after a while, I kind of got into the kind of fashion aesthetic of it. And
What kind of watch is it? I literally couldn't read it. I was just.
Captain Point.
can't even tell you, bro. I'm not even.
There's
sure.
no name. Like
It was a gift. I am pretty sure. Like if you ask.
I know normally that they
I
leave
wouldn't
the
tell this shit
name.
is super fake, bro. It literally was a gift. And what I experienced with ghostwriting is that they will give you quote unquote gifts
Mm-hmm.
so that they can like skim a little something off what they owe you.
Yeah, I know what to ask.
Labels have been labeled like not all labels.
Are you with one right
are
now?
bad. Nope. I mean I have talks with two. Actually, let me not even get into that. I have some talks going on, but I'm a little bit wary.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, music is a business, you know, and I think it's rare that you find people who really care about you because they're trying to make their money.
Yeah.
So if anything, leverage becomes such a big thing, and I've experienced a little bit too much leverage in my life with labels.
As in them having too much
Yep,
leverage, or
and
you not?
I find that the gifts that I've gotten, again, quote unquote gifts I've gotten, I don't really trust, you know. And I've found discrepancy with how I've been paid in the past, and especially being a ghostwriter, and certain times maybe the nature, the clandestine nature of the industry. And the thing is that I don't even think I'm that good of a writer, but I've managed to get into to make money from it. But the thing is that like knowing my rights has been difficult, and when it's a big label, the idea of taking on a label in a lawsuit or something, they have how do you fight them? They have so much money. How do you fight them? So there's been so many times that I've been kind of outright robbed, and I knew it. So I just kind of accepted things, and with the flashy jewelry and things that I got sometimes before writing a song, after writing a song, I just kind of went with it, you know. And again, I feel like the trappings of this kind of stuff has led to me getting more jobs, and this is when I didn't have social media. So like me being visible in the industry is what kind of got me jobs, I think. You know, people seeing this. I would typically get asked if I was a rapper, and at that time I wasn't a public artist in any which way. So I'd be like, you know,
Yeah, people only realize those kinds of things when they have something going on with their life.
Yeah, and I'd be like, no,
what do you do?
I ghostwrite, and then they'd be like, well, who do you ghostwrite for? And I'm like,
I know what
and then I'm like, well, that's not the point of ghostwriting. I can't tell you who I ghostwrite for.
Sure.
You know, if I told you I ghostwrote, like, do you write for Rihanna? And then that's the next thing. If you're a ghostwriter, probably there's probably a select group of ghostwriters, if there are ghostwriters working for Rihanna. I'm not gonna be one of them, you know. So like, that kind of thing, you know.
You've confirmed he doesn't write for one person.
I mean, sure, yes, you can write me out of having any responsibility for any of Rihanna's quality. There's nothing of me in that.
Okay, so I have a question. All right.
Sure.
With all the back and forth that has gone on with people having ghostwriters, how do you feel as a ghostwriter? Like, it's like, come, put some respect on my name, okay? Like, or is it like, all right, it's whatever?
It depends. People write for different situations. There's probably ghostwriters who wanted to get credit for it, but they got an opportunity to write for someone big, and someone big maybe told them, well, look, I want to have credit for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'll pay you out. And maybe they were like, no, I don't want you to use this. And maybe they held out, but usually everyone has their price.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the situation if you really want your credit. I've written things that would not seem like me and wouldn't really in many ways be appropriate for me to write. I'm not supposed to be writing about the drill culture in Louisiana. But I'm not going to say I did or didn't, but maybe I did. And the thing is that why would I want to get credit for that? Because that's not my experience. Yeah. But if I'm going to make lots of money off of it potentially, sorry. You know, if you don't respect me doing that, cool. I'd rather keep that under wraps, do my work, do what's asked of me, and I get paid for it.
Okay. That was like the whole big thing with Lil Yachty and the City Girls. Yeah.
I think if you're taking from people, then you had to get shit up.
No, the thing is, he wrote most of the song, and then one verse he didn't write, and everybody's like, Lil Yachty is how many City Girls are there?
2, I think.
No, it's not like 3.
I don't know. I've heard of them and they do.
Lil Yachty is like the 5th. Let's say there's 4. He's like the 5th City Girl, because everybody found out later that like he wrote this song. Is like, why are you writing this song?
I mean, but
it's like, I can kind of do whatever I want. I just want to prove that I could write hits.
I think, look, if, like, I don't have a problem with whether it's Drake or whoever, you know, Drake, Kanye, all of them have had ghostwriters at different times, and maybe always do, I don't know. But I think if you're going to be at the upper echelons of rap, and you're going to play bravado, play your bad, play your the baddest, whatever.
Play-
You should probably
yeah,
write all
play-
your own.
yeah.
You should write all your own stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Otherwise, just hush. Make your music to be a big, successful guy and talk about how successful you are. Don't be acting like it's so cool with the lyrics. You know what I mean? And I really enjoy Drake's music. You know, like I think what he does
Good
is
songs.
you gotta acknowledge. I think you should acknowledge it.
He has a saying.
Yeah.
He has
Drake can do no wrong in my eyes.
He could
In
definitely
my
do
eyes.
wrong, but he very infrequently does wrong musically. I think sometimes he could be a little. No, I'm saying he
Nah, this
infrequently
is-
does wrong. No, that's what I'm saying.
He's
Yeah.
deep in it. I'm listening.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is I'm agreeing with you. He does not frequently do wrong if he ever does. Musically,
Yeah.
like for instance, Kanye, genius. I'm not gonna listen to that last album because certain people he brought out, and for me, I personally, I don't want to like the
Wait,
stuff.
the
And
latest one.
I know I like Donda. I know I'll enjoy it.
Oh,
But for the time he brought out people like Marilyn Manson, I don't want to hear.
Oh,
I don't want to hear. You don't need to endorse people like that. You shouldn't be endorsing people
Yeah,
like
I
that.
get that.
We know too much about that. You should know better. I think people ought to have a certain level of personal responsibility. You know, you can't be bringing a man out who just be putting women in cages and think, nah, I know with that. And I know I would enjoy Donda, so I'm not gonna listen to it.
Yeah,
And I don't care who feel about that. I really don't care.
yeah. I get
You
it.
can't until you can have some responsibility for the trauma I've been through in my life. I really don't care if you think I'm wrong for not supporting Kanye. I really don't business.
Yeah.
I think he's on his merit. He's a musical genius,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't take that move. He's an asshole for that move, and that's people could be asshole for moves that I don't mind. Like Tyler does be an asshole sometimes, but what Kanye did I found was unacceptable, and I don't really want to have anything to do with that personally.
Okay. I guess.
I don't even know what song that is. To be fair.
No,
Like-
Donda's the album.
No, I know. No, I
No,
thought
so
Oh, Marilyn Manson, I don't think he was on a
he
song.
had a tour. He had a
he
tour
just brought
playing
him out
the songs.
physically.
Just brought him out on the tour. Like there was a big spotlight on him. There was
Yeah,
Shansi
yeah,
over
bro.
there.
Come now. Yeah, and you need to know that
The baby was
he too
like-
big. He too big. He have too many people giving him advice for him to not know that there was some shit
that was
for
that wasn't the
decades
best
going
move.
on with
That wasn't
Marilyn
the-
Manson. You know, like, but whatever. I don't know. You know what? Who am I to say some in many ways, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in Hollywood. There's a lot of politics, and there's a lot of time if you come to find out things in Hollywood that the commonality of crazy shit going on and people doing unacceptable things
Doubt.
is so common that maybe there's a certain flippancy. It's like people might, I don't know, you might find something out about people who you don't think is that bad, who is like the worst person on earth, and other
Yeah.
people bringing him out and not getting pressure for bringing him out, but behind closed doors he's like a lizard man. He's like
Yeah.
really harming people, you know.
Why is it always a lizard man?
No, it's
I just feel like lizard man is a big boogeyman, you know, like it's the idea of having something revealed about someone that's truly reprehensible.
he does what?
Yeah. What with kids? Anyway, so like, yeah, I don't know. I think people had to have some kind of level of responsibility, but with ghostwriting, it depends on what you're doing it for. I was doing it for financial remuneration.
Mm-hmm.
I probably, being like someone who is conceited in certain ways myself, like I probably wanted more credit, but the money was a little bit more useful to me than my conceit, so it won out.
I kind of want to know what the money was like.
Well, we usually ask
It
that
depends.
question.
Sometimes
Well,
it's small,
the
sometimes
way
it's
how we-
bigger.
the
We
way how
normally segue into it, and we normally ask if people are okay with talking about money,
I
but
try to avoid
we
it, but
really didn't. I didn't ask
it
you
depends.
before.
I was fortunate to get linked to some sizable jobs that I don't know whether I deserved or didn't deserve to be part of.
Well, usually what we
We don't ask
the
specific
figure,
numbers,
but
like,
we
what
say,
could you
what
buy?
I
would
wouldn't give figures
Oh.
because I don't think that's a good idea. But sometimes I was living really nice. At one point I made enough to like pay off a portion of my own university tuition. I was really proud of that, to be able to tell my parents, no, I'll handle this shortfall of they were paying for my tuition at the time, and I was like, and they had not sent enough, and I was like, you know what, it's okay because I've done well enough this month, I could pay this off. And I was super proud of myself, and then I spent so much of the money I made
On
living
what?
nice.
Oh,
Just living nice. Like I was living nice for a while. I was traveling a lot. It was nice. It's over now.
okay. So you're not
Opportunities are-
ghostwriting as much? Is it because you were
Very-
international?
Yeah, because I was in a place where I was physically around to do it. But no, I don't do it as much now. But hopefully, given
Okay.
that tours are becoming a possibility again, hopefully
Yeah.
I will get some more involvement. You know, the more artists you work with, the more opportunities. Sometimes it's just a question.
But you'll be on stage now.
Huh?
You'll be on stage now performing and
To-
not.
Oh well, I mean that's part not during ghostwriting. Like ghostwriting obviously has nothing to do with that, and it's the opposite of that. But you know, the point is to stay hidden.
Yeah.
But No, there's opportunities to tour coming up, and just being in studios with people, being in different countries, being in different spaces, you get opportunities, whether you're writing on a song publicly or not. So the last track I put out with Pretty and Teja, myself and Jimmy October wrote that song.
Yeah.
Teja and Pretty were brought in to sing specific parts, and Teja produced on it himself. So he became part of that. But the point is that it's just interesting. Like many Beyonce songs are written by XYZ. Rihanna's Work was written by Party Next Door, if I remember correctly, and I believe it was just him. Yeah, Work was written by Party Next Door, unless I'm incorrect. And that's kind of crazy to consider,
Even like locally, I heard it.
Oh, locally there's a lot.
Yeah.
Teja writes a lot of music.
Like the radio announcers are like, oh, have you like written songs for people? And they're like, yeah, I've written
Yup,
songs
and
for
then
this
they'll give you-
person. And I was like, this song.
Yup.
I'm like,
Yep.
you wrote that whole song?
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly. You'll be surprised.
yeah.
It's
But
crazy.
some people like write in mind for like, I'm probably not gonna use this song. Take that, because I
Yeah.
feel like it would fit best
Yeah.
with you.
I think there's a
I just had the
positive.
ideas.
There's a positive aspect of it being like, yeah, this song wouldn't work for me. You take it.
Yeah.
But then I think there's a lot of exploitation that goes on as well, and like they say there was a lot of tension between Party Next Door and Drake because Drake took a lot of his material kind of thing because he had him kind of locked into. That's the talk in the industry. I don't know how accurate it is. I mean,
wrote all
my
of
my
Drake's
personal
songs?
understanding of Abel is that he had a lot of people writing for him and he jumped because his first set of music was, I've been told this, was very much kind of manufactured for him, was made for him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really so much him. He was more into Michael Jackson and things of that sort,
Well,
which is more of what he's doing now.
I'm not about to say, well, After Hours was more.
I know a
that's-
lot of
that's
people
me.
who are like, oh, I want him to go back to After Hours. I want him to go back to that stuff. I personally enjoyed his darker stuff more, but I've come to understand that this new stuff he's doing is more the real Abel.
Yeah. I was telling somebody, like the toxicities in it.
Yeah, boy. Everyone like a little, let's be real, toxicity. Yo, King of the Fall
Yeah.
is an amazing track. It just puts you into a place. And then when you get to the end of it and it's like, I got all of my dogs trained, I make all of them swallow. And you're like, Jesus Christ, why do I like this so much? What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Something
So-
to consider.
I think now is an appropriate time to ask.
Mhm.
Have you ever had any if you can talk about it,
Mhm.
any terrible experiences? Like, I can't go, no, never going back there ever again.
Depends on in what sense. Terrible. I've had many,
Music.
Many.
See me now. We
Musically. Yes.
Speaking
Yes.
about music.
for sure.
Get
I've worked on a song whereby I was super excited about it. It was supposed to be me and someone, and then they just kind of turned around. It was a bit of a kind of like stabbing in your back with someone close to me, and it really hurt. But I mean, people make mistakes. Everyone's trying to mitigate their opportunities and see what they can make out of things. So I'm trying to be more understanding of it. It is trying to make it in kind of outside of soca in Trinidad is very difficult. So I try to
Yeah.
gain some perspective. But I've had experiences with, being totally discredited from things for not being paid for things that I wrote on, different things. Yeah, I've had some pretty terrible experiences. At this point, I don't know if I take it back. I'd be tempted to, but I've learned a lot from it, and
Yeah.
a lot of the pain is just part of it. If I never went through it, I just would be unawares, and at some point it'd happen. So there's a lot of negative experiences that I wish didn't happen, but ironically I'm kind of grateful it did, because you learn.
Yeah. For like people who are upcoming artists, because I feel like in Trinidad, being an observer from the outside,
Yeah.
right? I feel like there's a lot of pressure where
Yeah.
if you want to make it in Trinidad or in the Caribbean, you gotta do dancehall, soca, or tough rock.
Trinidad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What advice you can give to someone who is trying to make their
Trying
way
to,
in the
yeah.
music industry
Alternative, right.
outside
of those things.
dancehall and soca?
I mean, I
From your
don't.
experiences.
Right. No, sure. I don't know how valuable my advice would be, but my advice, such as it is, would be to be brave.
Mhm.
Like, do your thing. Do not compromise for other people.
Yeah.
Because making it to something you don't want to be ain't worth it. From
Mhm.
what I've seen, and I've met a lot of like big people, and people I don't think realize that a lot of famous people, a lot of wealthy people in music and film or whatever, are not necessarily happy people, and a
Mhm.
lot of them have done things that they're not proud of, that turn them into a whole next person. I think there's a very small select group of creatives who are successful and happy, And the goal
Yeah.
should always be happiness, and the goal should always be to be proud of what you are.
Mhm.
Personally, I don't ever want to be Justin Bieber. I think he's very good at what he does, but I don't want to be him personally. I would rather be a Frank Ocean, would rather be a Joji. So I think stay true to yourself and be brave is the advice.
Oh, I was gonna ask if it's because of the level of fame.
Well, what do you mean? Level of fame, what?
I just feel like Justin Bieber is a lot more.
No, he's so ridiculously huge, right?
Yeah,
The man is hot.
That's what I
The man
thought.
is
He can't,
hot,
yeah,
so-
that's what
everywhere.
I thought you meant.
He can't have a normal life. No, I just
Yeah.
mean, yeah, but there's tears, right? And a man like Daniel Caesar, or I don't know, like we come from a small island and soca has only gotten so big. Thankfully, soca has gotten so much bigger.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to sing soca, but I love soca. And there's a lot of soca
Mhm.
that's amazing. You
Yeah.
know, from David Rudder to more recent stuff, to older stuff, to things like just calypso. You know, yeah, from Kitchener to Jimmy October now doing like, you know, the kind of new calypso,
doing his
Freetown. Yeah, no, but at the same time, there's tears. So why I'm bringing that in is because like you put Kes up against, let me think of someone who would be like in kind of more pop terms in the States, like who is not like huge. I mean, I guess I was thinking of Daniel Caesar, but just the point being like Daniel Caesar is a lot bigger than Kes,
Yeah.
but Kes is massive,
Mhm.
you know, and like different artists on different levels have had to compromise to some extent. It's
Yeah.
very rare to have an artist who's totally uncompromising. I would think that Tyler the Creator is super uncompromising, but he would probably say he compromised a bunch of times and is not proud of having to compromise, you know.
Yeah.
So I think the least amount you can compromise is obviously the most pure you'll be. I think the most proud
Yeah.
you'll be of yourself,
Okay.
you know. And I just think someone like Justin Bieber has done really well.
Oh.
Respect to him, but I have a feeling that he's had to compromise a lot in his
I
life.
feel like he also went through a lot though.
Yeah, sure. But we all kind of go through a lot, you know.
No, but-
Because at such a young age. That
No,
Like,
for
at
sure,
such a
for sure.
young age,
That must have been so
I
difficult.
think,
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think he had like grew up with a bunch of money. Like he got a bunch of
No, he
money
didn't. He
from
didn't. But he wasn't
his
he wasn't
manager,
that-
and
yeah, no, but he
his
wasn't-
manager was like put a lot of money into him,
Yeah,
and then he ended up being what he is.
I think it's a give and a take. He's
Yeah.
gotten a lot for it. He's had to give a lot for it. I think things are a little bit relative. I don't know if he's willing to give that up at this point, you know? Maybe he would be like, yeah, I wish I could give it up and have a normal life, have had a normal child. I don't know. And I don't know what kind of trauma he's been dealing with. I know I've been through my own thing. People, I think it's been intimated to me a lot that people think I have it easy and have no idea what I've been through in my lifetime. Most people don't know I went to Ishi's Learning Center. And I don't want to act like Ishi's Learning Center was the absolute trenches. There was a lot of good to it, but it was rough. There was rough things to deal with. I think it's relative. Everyone has their struggles, some more than others, obviously. These days, I'm trying to have more perspective. So, me 2 years ago, don't have a good thing to say about Justin Bieber. Now, I think I can appreciate more of his value.
That was me when his new album came out. I was like, I really don't want.
I don't want to hear.
I
Yeah,
was like, I really didn't want to like some of these songs.
and it was very derivative of a lot of things, Caribbean styles,
Yeah,
and
I was
like. But it was good. It was
yeah,
enjoyable.
that's the thing. I tried to stay as objective
Yeah,
as
yeah.
I possibly can.
But the writing was good.
Yeah, so that I was like, I really don't. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, I really
you
don't
don't-
want to like.
You don't want to like the way you do. But that's just being real, you know.
Okay,
I mean, well, wait. One thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we're looking to wrap up.
You do
Cool.
your thing.
That's a good
like
idea.
you showed me the times. I was like,
No, I know I should.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
one thing I think is important to say off of something like that is that no one could tell me not to like Remix to Ignition. No one could tell me not to like I Believe I Could Fly.
Mhm.
But I believe that R. Kelly did that shit. So I don't want to support him. I think the best thing that could happen is take all the money, all the proceeds that his estate gets now,
Yeah.
and give it to a battered women's shelter, like different things that
Yeah.
benefit
Yeah.
people who need it, who he has abused, you know, like representing the people who he has abused kind of thing. Because I don't want to not be able to enjoy Remix Ignition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in some senses, I wish I could enjoy the Donda album. But I started liking Remix, and I've listened to Remix Ignition so many times, I can't unhear it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm making the choice not to listen to Donda personally. That's just me, you know. And I wanna stick to my guns, you know. I try to have some level of integrity, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna ask just to wrap up, I guess.
Yeah,
What
for
was like your biggest learning lesson?
God, there's so many. So
Top five.
so many. Top 5. Something I need a lot of work on. Listen more. Speak
Yeah.
less, listen more. kindness is super important. Kindness is super important. Forgiveness is super important for yourself, just as much for anyone else, probably more important for yourself, because if you can't forgive, that shit just stays with you. The person you have to forgive or want to forgive might not even feel it, but you will feel it if you can't give it up. So if we're on 3 now, or sorry, we're on 4 now, hard work beats everything.
Yeah.
You know, talent is big, obviously, but hard work and repetition beats everything, because I promise you, could not sing, could not rap. And now I could kind of do both of those things. And it took a lot of work for that. Number 5, I think we're on to 5.
Yeah.
Pass it on. Don't even like necessarily paying back is good and it's not a bad lesson at all, but passing it on, like keep it going. Anytime I've helped someone out with something, at the end of the day, I would love for someone to do that for me. Yeah. And I think giving is a gift. You feel good to give when you can, unless you're really parting the ways with someone reluctantly. And I feel like when people give to each other, it encourages people to keep on giving to others, because you never know what someone's going through. People have helped me at times that like they probably don't even know to this day how much it meant to me and how much it helped me, made me who I am, whatever, just saved me at a time and has led to better things. So passing it on. I think that would be the 5th.
Okay.
I think those are some good lessons.
That was very wholesome.
Was it wholesome? Nice.
Yeah.
It's good to end off on a wholesome.
He was like, was it
note.
wholesome? Nice. I tried
Nice.
a little bit.
Did I do the thing? Yeah, that's
That's all
good.
his story. Okay, good.
Yeah. This was good. This had a
Yeah,
good
so this
arc.
was fun.
Yeah, man.
Thank
was
you
blessed.
for opening up your space. I mean,
Yeah, of course, bro.
you don't really have to. I never really expect people to be like,
This
oh,
open.
yeah, come in my space,
I tried to.
because we have like a couple of people lined up, and it's like we don't have a space as yet. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
like I could go and record.
bro, talk to me about it. If I can help with things, and I think this is a good thing. If I could help with a good thing, I think that's just. I don't know if
Yeah.
I have absolutely believe in karma, but why not? You know, if it's not killing you, why not? Sometimes you give yourself unnecessary pressure. And you're like, why did I agree to this? But I think I've experienced a lot of times doing things reluctantly in a giving sense, and at the end of it, I was happy that I did it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, this was fun having you.
Yeah, man. Thanks. It was a blessing.
You'll go follow Will.
868
Yeah,
Will.
Will,
I try to keep
868.
it to just
Is
that.
it Will 866 or 868 Will?
868
I can't
Will.
remember the order now.
A lot of people, just because 868 has been so used up, are like, oh, that's corny. And I'm like, all right. I like that it's real simple. It's
You're
just
from here. You represent
from
it.
here, just 868 Will.
Will.
If someday could just be Will, I'll still represent Trinidad, but
Yeah.
like I wouldn't mind it just being Will. If I
Do
make
you have
enough
a
money to
Twitter
buy
at
that. Twitter's
Like
so
your
much
Twitter would be
geeps. Nah,
crazy.
because I have too many opinions.
Yeah,
I have too many
feel like
opinions.
your Twitter would be crazy.
My Twitter would be a problem. So no, I stay away from it. Maybe
Alright.
someday, but I doubt. I like keeping it to
Chill.
as little social media as possible.
Alright.
People have enough of me as it is.
No, I want to know more, because I'm always seeing you in the cam. Like, where is he going?
Well, oh yeah.
He's just always in the cam.
I'm
Like,
always in a car.
where
My life
are
is
you
spent
going?
in a
I
car.
just want to know.
And singing away. Is the intensity in the singing? It's like,
Like, where are you going?
Oh my
Singing
God.
like this.
Yeah, I do.
He's like, oh, traffic again today. Traffic where? Tell me where.
Bro, there's traffic everywhere in Trinidad.
So I walk to work and I walk home.
Good for you.
But I was just
I
like,
wish I was in a
I just want to
position
see
for
where
that.
the traffic is.
Bro, oh my God, nah, there's people, I could tell you, traffic in Trinidad is a thing. Traffic is...
No, I know it's a thing. I just want to know.
Oh my God, I'm tired of traffic. Yeah, I'm always in a car, you're right.
Yeah. But that's it. But we'll link everything. Y'all could
For sure.
follow Jabari and I.
Yeah,
I don't
y'all
know.
should. Y'all should.
Both Jabaris.
If I don't, I
Everything
need
will
to
be
follow
linked.
y'all. Let me follow y'all up right now.
Sure, we can do that now.
This has to happen.
But yeah.
A blessing and loving. Love in the
That's
house,
it.
as they say.
Love in the house.
Love in the house.
We'll see y'all next week.
All right, peace.
That's it for this podcast.